My name is Rizza.
And I'm Tyler, and this is our love story. So how long have you been dating?
Officially or unofficially?
Well, let's just say how long.
Okay. Well, I met Tyler in 2017. We were at the time working together at my first job as a nurse.
Mm-hmm.
And I was working a knock shift at the time, and he was working PM shift. So every time I would come to work, he would be there to relieve me from his shift. To relieve him from his shift.
Yeah, you relieved me.
Yes, I relieved you. You relieved me in my life too.
Yeah. If that helps.
If that helps, yeah. So when do you remember the first time that you actually saw me?
Yeah, it was August of 2017 when I first started working there. And then I remember looking at the schedule. I said, who's Rizza? Because to be honest, I really liked her name from a cartoon that I really liked to watch.
And you had a cat named Rizza.
Yeah, and I had named a cat Rizza, strangely enough too.
So random.
And then I said, I gotta see this girl. She has this name that I've kind of been obsessing about for a few months. And then
I thought that was kind of also very it was kind of a moment of like synchronicity too.
Yeah.
That was like the first little moment of synchronicity.
The first hint, yeah. The more she started coming in, the goofier I became. I started talking in like accents all the time, and I never done that before.
You would never stop to like basically
to
the
this
whole
day.
show.
Yeah.
So every time I would come in to relieve him, he would stay multiple hours after his shift, working overtime when you weren't supposed to.
Yeah.
But he
2-3 hours after my shift ended, it'd be 2 in the morning.
Yeah. And you helped me too during that first year of becoming a nurse, and just helping me do different procedures with our patients. And I was like, wow, this guy is really nice. But at the time I was actually in a relationship. So that was really during our first year starting off as friends and just getting to know each other as colleagues more so than anything.
Yeah.
And then after that whole relationship had ended, I knew that wasn't for me. We kind of started talking a lot more, and he helped me through a lot of things in life, just a bunch of hardships that I was going through. And yeah, you really helped me find myself as a friend more so before anything.
Right.
Which I think that was that helped us have a strong foundation in the beginning.
Yeah, exactly. I think we got along very well, and so it was a very solid foundation to start a relationship with. You know, we were able to laugh together, have fun, joke around.
Yeah, and Tyler is really the type of person to just naturally be very comedic. And I'm more so naturally like the type of person to be very like, at the time, very quiet and just very reserved. And yeah, you really you really brought me out of my shell.
Yeah, you weren't quiet around me.
With you, I was not quiet because it was natural in that sense that you helped me break out of my shell more.
Yeah, and now it's never stopped.
I know.
No, I'm kidding. One day, though.
Okay, so the what are the best memories of dating?
Definitely when we found Barbara.
Oh yeah.
We were working a shift, and everybody that was coming in for the night shift, they all kept walking in going, there's this giant dog outside. It's really scary. It's just sitting in front of the door. And so I went out there, and there's just this really sweet dog sitting in the front, just wanting to come inside because it was kind of starting to storm out. And I learned this later, but she's just deathly afraid of thunder and lightning. And so she had to have gotten out and ran right to the building. And I'm sitting out there, and I'm feeding her tuna sandwiches from the kitchen. And
so I come to relieve him that night, and I see a dog. I see him sitting next to this dog outside of the skilled nursing facility that we were working at. Mm-hmm. I'm like, what are you doing with this dog? And he's like, I think I'm going to take the dog home. I'm like,
I couldn't leave her there.
Yeah, she was very sweet. And I do feel like that was one of those.
That was a core memory.
That was a core
us
memory.
two.
And it was like a God moment for me, to be honest. I felt like she was there for a reason. And she's always been that just thing to like bring us closer to each other. And
yeah, because during that time we started, when I would work, I'd be like, can you watch the dog for a little bit? Because we were trying to find the owners. We were trying
to help him. And he was
yeah,
only going to foster her for a little while.
for a little bit. And hopefully I would find the owners, but she wasn't chipped, didn't have a collar, put up flyers, Facebook posts. And so the dog brought us a lot closer than what we would have got before that. And it was just sort of a catalyst.
She's our baby.
Yeah, now she's
our baby.
She's
we have two other cats
dog.
too. They're our roommates. Barbara's our
baby. Yes, she's our child.
She's our child.
Yeah. I think that was one of the best core memories because it just kind of sparked this fire between us, and we had already kind of started this little family together without knowing it.
Yeah.
And it really brought us together.
It did. It helped us. It helped us become just like you said, just like a little family.
Before, a little family. Learn how to care for other people and other animals that we have. It just helped us grow kind of as people too, because that was the first dog that I had outside of like my parents' house, right? Yeah. And so.
And having her together too really kind of
helped. Yeah, definitely.
Helped our bond. Mm-hmm. So what's our proposal story?
The proposal story. Well, I am a kind of person that doesn't plan anything. I just go with the flow.
Out.
Yeah.
It's very stressful. I'm the type of person that needs like an itinerary. I need things planned like way ahead of time. And you're
I am
opposite.
the exact
That's why we balance
opposite.
Each other.
Yeah. Mm-hmm.
Yes.
That's what we tell each other.
Anyway.
To help.
Yes.
Cope.
With the fact that you're
I don't plan. I literally will fly by the seat of my pants.
You've gone better at it though.
A little bit, yeah, because I've had to.
Yeah.
But so I didn't really have a set plan because I didn't want a plan to go sideways and then I had to come up with something on the fly anyway. So I said, I'm just going to let it come to me kind of naturally. And one of her kind of wishes that she wanted when she told me about, things that she would want during a proposal would be her family and her sister's present.
Yeah. I didn't want anything like lavish or too fancy or crazy. Like I really wanted my family there to witness that moment. And you really executed that moment, in my opinion, like in the most perfect way imaginable.
Right. So we had, her sisters were coming 2 separate weekends. And so the first weekend that they were going to come, not everybody was going to be there because her other sister's husband was flying in from the military to go on leave the next week. So that whole week I'm sweating. I'm going, I have to figure something out like by Saturday because everybody's going to be here on Saturday. And then I went, oh, wait. I said, oh, actually I have time because not everybody's going to be here on Saturday. I said, perfect. And then the next week, everybody was going to be here. And then the next week, I'm sweating, going, I have to plan something by Saturday. So I should have learned from last week when I should have planned it then. But things come to me very naturally. And I think
under pressure, too.
Yeah, under pressure. I think it's a little bit more organic.
Yeah.
And so getting to know her very well, I know her what she really likes, and she really likes words and words of encouragement, affirmation. That's her love language. So what I did was I got some sidewalk chalk, and I wrote in the park near where we live and where we take our dog for a walk.
We take her to this park every week. We take Barbara there, and it's really just like a place that we go to just take a stroll and relax. Mm-hmm. And Barbara knows the park well, and we have dog friends there, and it's just like a cute little park that's right next to our house.
Yeah.
So, sorry to interrupt.
It's okay. And so I had wrote a kind of a heartfelt message on the sidewalk leading up to a little terrace where they have little steps and it overlooks a big grass field. and I had wrote it kind of in a circle.
He wrote it in cursive.
And in cursive, which
I was like,
arguably,
cursive?
yeah, it could have been a little
really
bit
nice.
neater. I don't have the best penmanship, but it worked. I only misspelled one word in the moment, so that was an accomplishment on my behalf, I thought. And then kind of the words leading up were, will you marry me? Will you be will you be my wife?
Yeah.
And we'd all
sweet
tricked her.
message.
Hey, we're gonna go to the park, take the dog for a walk, and her mom or dad or sisters were there, their husbands.
We were actually celebrating an early Thanksgiving that weekend.
Oh, that's right.
My family, everyone was going to be there that weekend, so we wanted to do it early. And my sister was late coming to our house, so I had a feeling something was going to happen at a certain point during that day, and it was when he said he was going to be going to the grocery store to pick up some stuff. And so I was getting the house ready, and I was like, man, it's been over like an hour and a half already. And so I text him and I call him. I'm like, hey, are you okay? And he's like, yeah, I'm actually, that one coworker, she's here, and you know her. She always loves talking to me. So I just got caught up, and I was like, okay, that's fine. Just come home safely. Turns out he was planning this whole thing the whole time. And
yeah, it took a little longer than I was. I was like, I could just totally write this out. It'd take 5-10 minutes.
Yeah.
I'm there on the concrete on my knees, writing this with chalk, and I'm getting up, and for some reason, I don't know why I did this, but I left the chalk like all the way down at the beginning of the walkway. So I was just walking back, getting one piece of chalk, going back and forth. I don't know why I did that, but I did.
It's okay, you were nervous.
Yeah, probably.
It's a big moment.
I needed to, work through it. I had to move a little bit. And then
your poor knees.
Yeah.
It was a long message too.
And I'm getting up, my knees are shaking because I've just been kneeling on the sidewalk for like an hour and a half. I'm like, oh my gosh, I've been gone for so long. I need to get back.
So we end up going to the park, and at this point, all my family is there. My mom, my dad, my two sisters, their husbands, my little nephew, my little baby nephew. And normally my dad doesn't really like to do things, but that day he was very adamant about coming with us to the park. And I was like, oh, okay. I'm pretty sure he probably just wants to spend time with my nephew or his grandson, of course. So we're walking there, and then we get to the park, and all of a sudden I see like words on the sidewalk in chalk. And I'm like, oh, these kids probably were writing on the sidewalk like they always do. So we're walking. He's like, hey, look, are you reading it? I'm like, oh. So I'm like looking, and I'm like, oh. And I'm looking, and I'm like, oh my gosh. And then I knew at that point, I was like, oh, this is the moment that we'd been waiting. We'd been waiting for a while.
Yeah.
And it was really that right moment for us.
Sorry, that was in my field of view. I'm so sorry. We had talked a lot about it too, because we've been together for 5 years or 4 years unofficially.
Yeah.
For 4 years.
We've known each other for that long.
Yeah.
Right?
And it was always talked about as if, this is going to happen. And so maybe a little bit of the mystery had gone like, oh, is he going to do it now? When are you going to do it? Is there a time limit on this? And it was supposed to happen when it happened.
Yeah. I really, truly believe that it happened. And like, even when we first met each other, I felt like I met you at the most, like, one of the most difficult times in my life. And that was really for a reason. It wasn't coincidence to me. It wasn't just out of the blue. Like, you were there at that nurse's station looking at me like a deer in the headlights when I first walked in for a reason.
Yeah.
Okay, so next question. Excited about the wedding?
Yeah, of course. My friends are all coming in. My best friend is flying in. I haven't seen him in about
family from out of
5 years. Family from out of town. Very small, but excited to get everybody in one place and
yeah.
kind of share our love with them.
Right.
Yeah.
That's also what I'm most excited about too, is having both of our families come together and really just witness a moment where we're together celebrating our love for the first time.
Yeah.
And it's a moment that we've been waiting for so long.
Right.
And it, like, for me, I felt like I've gone through a lot of things the past couple years, and I almost felt like at one moment like it was never going to happen. And then it did. And I thought that was, I'm trying not to cry right now. I mean, I'm really emotional. But yeah, like, I really feel like this is a huge turning point in our relationship where I can finally feel like, you know, I'm home. I'm really, like, we're both home.
Right.
Yeah. And we are both also home all the time because we're homebodies.
Yes. Yeah. I kind of have said this from the start, but, you know, I've always had faith that this was going to come to the point it is now, right when it needed to.
Yeah. And you always would tell me too, like, I'm not going to give up on you, especially during those moments where I was like, this can't happen. This relationship is not going to be possible. Like, I felt like all odds were against us in the beginning of our relationship. But, you know, I really do feel like God helped everything work out in the end for us.
Yeah.
Which is,
as cheesy as it may sound,
as cheesy as it may sound,
the true love prevails, you know? It did. There was something really inside of me saying, just go, just keep going. Don't give up.
Yeah, exactly.
That's okay. What I'm most excited about, honestly, is the music.
The music
for our wedding.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah, we're really both into music for sure.
Yeah, I think I'm really into kind of choosing our playlists and our songs, and not just having a regular wedding DJ come and you know, put on whatever they're going to put on, but instead like kind of even refining things like the music and
making it personal to us, of course.
Yeah, that's kind of what I'm most excited about. And to dance, because I really like to dance.
Yes,
so
he does.
I'm most excited about that.
You'll break me out of my shell on that day too.
Yeah.
Because I'll need a couple of drinks.
That's okay. That's all right. We'll get you.
Okay. Define love. I think we can go riff off of what you were saying with how you really felt like there was something telling you.
There was something, yeah. It was incessant.
Yeah, it was. This guy was just like not going to give up on me. No. And in the back of my mind, through all the doubts that I had in the beginning, in the back of my mind, I was like, man, there's a reason why he is nonstop trying to pursue me. And he has all this faith and hope in this relationship that I'm not sure is going to work out, but he feels that it is for whatever reason, whatever was pulling you towards me.
Yeah, I knew. I told you.
Yeah, and you helped me realize that. You helped me realize that throughout our relationship, that as long as we both had, you know, that foundation of faith, hope, and love, and just for each other, really, through anything that we would have been going through at that moment, then anything would have worked out for us.
Of course. To me, love isn't, it isn't necessarily quantifiable. You can't really measure it, but instead it's a collection of how you live your life and how you show your appreciation to your partner, the commitment, you know,
and the balance between each other.
Right. From the start, it's as cheesy as it is when they say when you know, yeah. And it's very true, because I knew from the start, like this was it. This was the person I wanted.
Yeah.
Really, I knew when we were doing all those fake accents at the nurse's station and counting in an Australian accent for no reason.
Literally every single night.
Every time.
Every single night.
Yeah.
We would be at the nurse's station just annoying everyone with our fake accents, I'm sure.
I said, I don't even know why I'm doing this. I don't normally do this.
I know. It was so
made us act
out
funny.
of the blue. Like, just, that's what love is.
That's right.
You just act silly, but that's love.
Yeah, I hadn't met somebody where that side of me was so naturally brought out of me.
Right.
I felt so comfortable around you immediately.
Same.
So
That's exactly how I felt too.
yeah.
Okay.
And that's our love story.
And that's our love story.